Former PM David Cameron enjoying a hedonistic retirement, cozying up to a Corbynista credit Lucy Edwards at Low Edwards. David Cameron was photographed twice at the Wilderness Festival this weekend. One quickly tweeted picture, taken by Labour councillor Vanessa Price, who has campaigned at the former MP's Witney constituency, shows Cameron and his wife accidentally photobombing Ms. Price and her mustachioed husband Steve. Selfie, taken during a performance by Swedish folk duo First Aid Kit. The picture finds Sam Cam's gaze locked stagewards while Dave is staring down the smartphone lens, looking awkward, as one commentator said, a bit cross and slightly accusatory. In the second shot, Mr. Cameron, whose Oxfordshire home is 4 miles from the festival in the village of Dean, is caught, bag in one hand, wine glass in the other, by a purple-haired chancer with the word Corbyn hand-painted on the back of her sequin jacket. The Corbynista described our former PM as super chilled. First Brexit, Trump and North Korea. Now, a brace of Labour Party supporters at the Wilderness Festival. To who on earth let them in? I think I speak for the rest of the regular attendees of the Cotswolds when I say I am truly shocked by both of these unfortunate incidents. I mean, what is the world coming to? First Brexit, Trump and North Korea. Now, a brace of Labour Party supporters at the Wilderness Festival. To who on earth let them in? An unimpressed David Cameron waiting for the raving to start. Credit SWNS.com. As somebody who has been to Wilderness 4 times, I spend my weekends in a little cottage just down the road from the festival's idyllic Cornbury Deer Park site. I can honestly say that the self-styled live music, wild swimming, spectacle, later night revelry and dining 3-day air is the most braying, bourgeois, white, middle-class, conservative jamboree this side of the Henley Regatta. The Wilderness crowd comes from London or the surrounding Cotswolds locale. Many attendees have properties in both. They are rangy, tan-free spending wasps. Healthy-looking gap-ya kids. Prosecute-ipsy mums giving it some Stevie Nicks in their old Alice Temperley florals, and Bowden dads teaming up their multiple rubber VIP pass bracelets with raspberry-colored pants and peacock feathers. Barely a Remainer raver amongst them. It doesn't get more rock and roll than a headline set by old Harrovian Benedict Cumberbatch. Devil horns in the air. Everyone credit Justin and Gretna Pictures. Headline acts on this year's lineup included Cambridge-educated Tom Hollander and Harrovian actor Benedict Cumberbatch. Food is not greasy taco trucks and rank smelling noodle kitchens, but long banquet tables and 90 Kita-head pop-up dinners hosted by the likes of Nuno Mendes, Yotam Ottolenghi, Petersham Nurseries and deliciously Ella Woodward of the Sainsbury's supermarket dynasty. A round of drinks, that is a round of apparels in plastic cups, will cost you up to £50. Even the fish and chip van bears the livery of Jay Sheeky. So, far from feeling awkward in this rarefied environment, Tony and Cameron would have felt very much at home. Just as he did at the Cornbury Festival over at Great Tew earlier this summer, and just as he will in the Groucho Club tent at Alex James and Jamie Oliver's big festival event later on this month. Forget Goodsington and Glyndebourne. For many middle-class 40 and 50-somethings, this is what the new social season looks like. Ed Balls checking when Stormzy is on while he waits for the shower at this year's Glastonbury. Credit Paul Grover for The Telegraph. The issue for David Cameron and every other middle-aged raver at Wilderness. For Ed Balls at Glastonbury. For Charles Dunstone's Bear Grylls and the landed actor Jack Houston at Cornbury is more musical, sartorial, behavioral and terpsichorean. When you are 1 foot in the rave and 1 foot in the grave, what kind of trousers do you wear? Do you forego pants altogether and don a quasi-pagan get-up of animal skins, a walnut staff and a feathered top hat? Do you dance like no one's watching or just idly nod your head to the beat? Do you get off your head on hallucinogenics or stick to warm pints of craft beer? It's a tough gig to get right, and I might not be echoing the opinions of NME.com here, but for a 50-year-old man at a young people's shindig, I think David Cameron did kind of okay. Most importantly, he didn't make a fool of himself with his clothes. Cameron's chosen ensemble for these occasions tends to be Gorpcore driven, Gorpcore being the new camping gear-based fashion trend. Gorp is a kind of trail mix health food snack. He wears hiking boots, cargo shorts, fleeces, etc. I just caught someone taking picture of my calves. I overheard him say at Cornbury, "He'll be back." David Cameron channeling Arnie at Cornbury Festival, Oxfordshire. Credit Jules Annan Redna. Thankfully, what he didn't do was try and join in by dressing up like some tragically half-arse circus act with a glitter on his face. Yes, I'm talking to you, Mr. Mark Carney. Wilderness 2016. Call me a party-pooping spoil sport, but there is nothing worse than the sight of glamping, middle-aged, city-trader males, jigging around at festivals in harem pants, feather boas with their faces painted in butterfly colors, and their kids ashen-faced with embarrassment. Why does the likes of Mr. Stephen Price, aforementioned husband of labor activist Vanessa Price, feel compelled to wear a Morris dancer's hat and wax his face furniture like a cartoon strongman of a Sunday afternoon? Why has this kind of Amdram cosplay suddenly become synonymous with weekends of expensive gourmet food, wild swimming and a live performance by Two Door Cinema Club? I feel pretty, oh so pretty. Governor of the Bank of England, Mark Carney, getting on the glitter train at Wilderness Festival. Credit Mark Hemsworth. London News Pictures Limited. Of course, posh people have been delving into the dressing up box for generations. If you read Black Sun, A Brief Transit and Violent Eclipse of Harry Crosby, you'll know that Harry and Caress Crosby, gilded Bostonian aristos and decadent lifers, spend most of their lives dressed either as Pierrot clowns or as living Dadaist sculptures. And as recently as 1972, Mary Aileen de Rothschild, a genuine oddball and eccentric, held her famous surrealist ball at Chateau Ferrières and wore a deer mask decorated with tears made of real diamonds while she did so. But now that going to a festival is as essential to the summer's social season as a nasty interlude of salmonella after a barbecue, it seems that every city square and Sloane Ranger feels they have to do a deep dive into the costume store to do so. Singer Grace Jones performing at Wilderness Festival sporting a rather charming headdress, very postmodern. Credit CFARUOLO. But then I talk as a reluctant festivalist. I love music when I can experience it indoors, I love the outdoors, and I love camping when there is no one else for miles around. I don't like big crowds of people. I don't like queues for food or loose. Despite all this, I have been dragged kicking and moaning and complaining, my 53-year-old face unpainted, my headgear unfeathered, to several middle-class festivals over the past few summers. And it hasn't been too bad. Like David Cameron, I've worn a shorts and sunglasses. I've grinned through the rain, the 50-quid drinks rounds and the ghastly communal peeing rituals. Whether this is a good look or not is still up for debate. The problem for a 50-year-old raver like Cameron is that he is too old and conventional to be cool and not old enough to be a treasure, says style watcher Peter York. I haven't been to a festival in more than 30 years, but it seems to me, certainly as far as Britain's festival-going middle classes are concerned, that it is 68-year-old Jeremy Corbyn with his sandals and his megaphone that has the edge over Dave and his glass of wine and cigarette. The dos and don'ts of being an MFGMIDDLEAGEFESTIVALGOER: do embrace corp isn't often that dressing appropriately and safely is also considered cool, so seize this moment, with all your might. Bumbag, gaiters, wellies, Gore-Tex, show your experience off. Led Zepp, yep, you saw them when Bonham was alive, man. Britpop, it was a real war, man. Corbyn, you knew him when he was a nobody, man. Know your physical limits. That 44-man human pyramid the hip young things seem to be constructing over there, you do not need to be at the top of it. Use VIP if you can. You haven't worked for 30 years to have the same luxury as everyone else, have you? Don't go anywhere near a pot of glitter or face paint, or anything ultraviolet. Yeah, will look like you're featuring in a Best Exotic Marigold Hotel sequel. And not in a cool, Bill Nye way. Mention politics. This is especially important if you're a former Conservative Prime Minister. Take your chair everywhere. You'll look roughly 104 years old if you take your own stool. Just grit your teeth and bounce at the knees. Network if they pass you a questionable cigarette. You do not pass back a business card. And certainly not a LinkedIn handle. Words Guy Kelly.